Hello, glad to have you join us on the news. I'm Ruth Aguilera. My sign language interpreter is John Bamidele. We're starting with the headlines. In search of greener pastures, more migrants arrive from Mexico-US border. Federal government reaffirms its commitment to improve the well-being of displaced persons across the country. The National Health Insurance Authority signs Memorandum of Understanding for Medicine Supply Initiative to improve services to enrollees. The World Trade Organization's Director General Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has called on members to step up efforts to deliver a possible outcome on cotton for the organization's 13th Ministerial Conference, MC13, to hold in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, February next year. She noted that cotton producers in least developed countries are grappling with numerous challenges that are negatively impacting the sector and the livelihoods of those dependent on the crop. Speaking at the opening of World Cotton Day 2023, hosted by the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, in Vienna, the Director General admitted that 20 years of negotiations at the WTO on trade aspects of cotton have failed to reach their main result, adding that persistent distortions in international markets impede the fair participation of many cotton-producing countries. The WTO DG said the coming weeks offer a short window of opportunity for members to define and pursue what they consider to be an appropriate cotton outcome at the 13th Ministerial Conference. She therefore urged members, and particularly the Cotton Four, to engage with each other to explore possible landing zones and define the contours of a possible MC13 outcome on cotton. The World Cotton Day was launched at the WTO headquarters in 2019 at the request of the Cotton Four to recognize and celebrate the importance of cotton as a global commodity and raise the profile of their cotton-specific needs on trade and development. In September 2021, the day became the official UN International Day of Cotton. United Nations World Food Programme has raised the alarm of hunger emergency looming on the border between South Sudan and Sudan, as families fleeing fighting in Sudan continue to cross the border every day. Adebola Brookslyn reports.
New data gathered by the UN World Food Programme, WFP, showed that among the nearly 300,000 people who have arrived South Sudan in the last 5 months, 1 in 5 children are malnourished, and 90% of the families said they go multiple days without eating. Almost all of those who have crossed the border since fighting broke out in Sudan in mid-April are South Sudanese, and they are returning to a country already facing unprecedented humanitarian needs. A new food security assessment completed by WFP revealed that 90% of returnee families are experiencing moderate or severe food insecurity.
When we ran from Khartoum, we left everything behind, and now we are suffering here, especially because of the rain and the health of my child. I can't do anything else because he needs constant care.
Observers said the rainy season has made conditions at the crowded transit centers and border crossings even more difficult, with flooding worsening food insecurity and contributing to the spread of disease.
Since I've been here, I have seen the condition of people deteriorating rapidly, those that are coming across the border as the conflict continues. Really, to see a malnourished child in a mother's arms, not knowing whether that child is actually going to survive the night or not is incredibly confronting. And that's what the UN is here trying to support, that make sure that we are providing that life-saving assistance so people can survive not only their entry but also their onward journeys into South Sudan.
WFP is providing food assistance to meet the immediate needs of the families at the border, delivering hot meals, high-energy biscuits, dry rations, and cash-based transfers, as well as providing specialized nutrition support for children and mothers. Adebola Brookslyn, NTA News.
3 scientists, Mongi Bawendi, Louis Bros, and Alexei Ekimov, have won the 2023 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. The Swedish Royal Academy of Science published the names of the scientists for their discovery of quantum dots for use in screens and imaging. Kolo Mohammed reports.
The Academy says they emerged winners of the Nobel Prize for their discovery of clusters of atoms known as quantum dots, now used to create color in flat screens. Light-emitting diode LED lamps and devices that help surgeons see blood vessels in tumors.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has decided to award the Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in memory of Alfred Nobel to Richard H. Thaler for his contributions to behavioral economics.
Just imagine the ability to suddenly be able to tune material properties not only by making new materials but by their size using quantum phenomena is of course very inspiring and triggered a lot of interest to see what could this be used for. But for the next 10 years this was difficult because the size was not quite well controllable enough, the quality was not quite good enough for real applications.
The Swedish Royal Academy of Science said the scientists had added color to nanotechnology and their findings hold great potential in many fields. The Nobel Chemistry Prize was awarded for discovery of quantum dots that bring color to LED lights. Researchers believe that in the future they could contribute to flexible electronics, tiny sensors, thinner solar cells, and encrypted quantum communications. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
In pursuit of what some migrants refer to as a journey to their live dream, they push the limits to reach the southern border between Mexico and the United States. Kolo Mohammed again will tell us about this.
The frequency of arrival at the border here usually goes higher at a time like now, especially with the U.S. general elections around the corner. Treatment and handling of migrants usually counts for or against political parties and candidates. The Biden administration has had to realign immigration laws frequently not to be charged with crimes against the needy, especially migrants from Cambodia, Venezuela, and other nations in South America. These migrants boarded a cargo train to arrive here.
I do not recommend anyone to take this trip carrying infant. The hazard alone, tired adult, let alone infant.
No le recomiendo a nadie que viaje con un bebé de brazo porque
We all had to travel on the cargo train because migration won't let us travel by bus. We get swindled of our hard-earned money.
Arriving here for them may be adventurous. However, it is not the same for patrol officers who ensure orderliness and safety for all.
In mental health for over 10 years, probably close to 20. It was a great career, but it was very sedentary.
Migrants are covered by a global UN treaty. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
More than 20 tourists in Venice, Italy, lost their lives when the bus conveying them veered off of a bridge. This incident actually occurred Tuesday evening, but let's hear from Kolo Mohammed one more time.
The bus plunged some 15 meters and busted into flames in northern Italy. Firefighters swiftly arrived at the scene to put out the flames, but it was too late with fatalities. Venice's mayor, Luigi Brugano, described the accident as serious, saying there are no words to describe it. Officials blamed the cause of the accident to overspeeding on the part of the bus driver. Still in northern Italy, at the Turin area, a high-speed train killed 5 railway workers injuring 2 others, as reported by local media. The accident occurred at midnight Wednesday in the municipality of Brandizo, part of Turin's metropolitan area. The train was traveling at about 160 kilometers per hour when it ran into 5 railway workers, killing all of them. Kolom Hamad, NTA News.
Nigeria is ready to invest in human capital, research and development, and technology transfer to enhance productivity and innovation. Vice President Kashim Shettima dropped this hint while giving the assurance of the present administration's poise to provide the right infrastructure and industrial hubs for export services at the ongoing National Conference on Non-Oil Export organized by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. Comfort Amadu reports that the special advisor to the president on ease of doing business, Jumoke Oduwole, represented the vice president.
Strategic partnership, improve market intelligence, and leverage existing trade agreements to expand our market reach and reduce our dependency on a few well-established markets.
To change the trajectory of Nigeria's economy, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Anite, reiterated that Nigeria must prioritize the growth of foreign investment towards building a sustainable path through non-oil export.
We're actually going to take business risk. One of the things that you really want to do is to increase your return on investment. And one way you can do that is through export.
This is not the time for us to accommodate any minute disruption in our foreign exchange. If with the current state of the naira, every single source of foreign exchange must be carefully and jealously protected.
From the legislature, Senate has screened and confirmed Minister-designate for the Ministry of Youth, Jamila Ibrahim Bio, and State Minister for the Ministry, Ayodele Olawande. Also screened and confirmed is Balarabe Abbas Lawal, the nominee from Kaduna State. Now, this confirmation brings 48 the number of ministerial nominees of President Bola Tinubu so far confirmed by the Senate as ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. 45 of the confirmed ministers have since assumed duty following their inauguration in August 2023. Throughout last week, some cities in the country, including Abuja, experienced rainfall, especially in the evenings. Now, if you observe this week, there was a sudden change in weather, especially today, actually, which is not only windy but dusty with poor visibility. The situation is even worse in the northeast and parts of the northwest. So we heard, what is the reason for the change in the weather? Musa Aliyu went out in search of answers.
Also recorded low visibility.
This weather is extraordinary. Extraordinary because generally the Harmattan sneaks in, but it has come in full force. It's very intense.
Right, that's the much we can give you from that report because of some distortion in the audio. We turn to other issues. Nigerians need to rethink, embrace value reorientation and work towards harnessing the nation's human resources in order to restore trust in governance. While receiving a delegation of Sir Ahmadu Bello Memorial Foundation, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, reaffirmed efforts towards reviving some eroded values amongst the people. Salihu Gwanara reports.
Sir Ahmadu Bello, the Sultan of Sokoto and first Premier of Northern Nigeria, died 57 years ago. Sustaining the legacies of the late Northern political icon, particularly his vision and mission on education, remains a source of concern to the likes of the minister.
What we are seeing today is a gradual erosion of the values of those founding fathers. people no longer even believe in their leaders, the leaders that they themselves elected. They don't have
But hope is not lost, as Sir Ahmadu Bello Foundation, established in 2009, is carrying the task of reviewing and reviving these legacies for the benefit of all.
We are holding a national conference on education. All major stakeholders, all principal political office holders from the north.
And so for me, the Saldana Foundation now is an attempt to recreate those values that the Saldana put out almost 60 years ago. It's something that the federal government identifies with. It is in consonance with the mission of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we do hope that you will carry this to the letter, and we hope that this time around we will see real changes on the ground.
Former Governor of Kano State Ibrahim Shekarau led the Board of Trustees and Advisory Council members to solicit support and pledged commitment to the new policy narrative of the current administration. On global issues, the Ambassador of Republic of Belarus, Yaroslav Bril, assured his country's commitment to sustain and positively explore the agricultural and educational potentials of both countries.
Belarus can provide also mining sector with the complex solutions, including the sale of the mechanization and machines, training services.
We don't want food import. What we want is our ability to produce this food for our people. Like you said, we have the potential, we have the land, arable land, we have the people. What we lack is the technology and the necessary investment in the value chain. And this is where we want Belarus to come in to help Nigeria.
The minister assured that the current administration is open for genuine collaboration in the interest of Nigerians. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
All right, let's go on a break. We're back shortly.
Making the economy more robust by lowering transport costs shall be key. In this regard, we have opened a new chapter in public transportation through the development of cheaper, safer, compressed natural gas, CNG, buses across the nation. These buses will operate at a fraction of current fuel prices, positively affecting transport fare. The new CNG conversion kits will start coming in very soon, as all hands are on deck to fast-track the usual lengthy procurement process.
Welcome back. The increasing workload before the different divisions of the judiciary has been an issue of concern to members of the bar and the bench, as the development is taking its toll on the quality and speed at which litigants obtain justice. The matter is receiving attention with the inauguration of 23 new judges by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola. Olabode Arewa reports that the new judges are to man the Federal High Court divisions across the country, which require more manpower.
That was Justice Olufunmilola Agbaje, one of the 23 newly sworn-in judges, taking the oath of office and that of allegiance as a jurist on the Federal High Court bench. Justice Agbaje and 22 others were inaugurated by the Chief Justice of Nigeria after undergoing a rigorous selection process, as well as training on the intricacies attached to the operations of the office. Congratulations to you all, said the CJ and Justice Olukayode Ariwola. But it did not only have sweet words for them, he also cautioned them to avoid pitfalls that may hamper their effectiveness as judicial officers.
Your lordships must sever ties with anything that will smear your hands
and bring you into disrepute in the course of your new assignment. Like I always say, even though judicial officers are not spirit or superhuman, so much impossible things are yet expected from them by the society.
With the assumption of office, the number of judges on the bench of the federal courts has now risen to over 90.
It is good that we have this number of honorable judges being appointed. That will at least help to reduce some of the backlog of cases that have been there, have not been assigned.
The burden will be lessened because other than these pre-election cases that they were doing, they had to also do the regular cases.
From the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Olapoderewa, NTA News.
The National Health Insurance Authority Medicines Supply Initiative just got better with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding with pharmaceutical manufacturers and drug management organizations in Nigeria. Uche Ugochukwu reports that this is part of the strategic reforms of the health insurance ecosystem in the country.
This agreement with 12 pharmaceutical manufacturers and 8 drugs management organizations bring to fruition the Medicine Supply Initiative adopted 3 years ago with the aim of rebranding NTAi medicines and other products to tackle the challenge of out of stock while ensuring quality of medicines in Nigeria.
The initiative is geared towards the strengthening of local manufacturing, among other things, will ensure strengthening the local pharmaceutical manufacturers, which will ultimately guarantee medicine security. We took particular reference with the IV infusion, which the cost will be reduced by 50%.
These partners have their eyes on a common goal, that of facilitating the supply of affordable, acceptable, accessible, available, and quality medicines and other products for the populace.
There were 2 things I was looking forward. The day we'll launch the drug initiative, and the day we'll have the, the guideline being given to us. Because these are very fine instruments that will make us catapult ourselves. We will begin to see and assess genuine, efficacious, and highly affordable medicines in no time. We will key in aggressively until we get all of our essential medicine list covered.
Our appeal is for all to our manufacturing arm of pharmaceutical group to please walk the talk. Don't bring our document back and say you cannot deliver, because you have to give back to the society what you have also enjoyed for some time.
7 states have been selected for the pilot phase of the implementation of the initiative, with outcomes expected in the next 1 month.
A broad-based implementation of the renewed hope agenda of the federal government must not only include strategic development of the agricultural sector, but must also recognize women and create an atmosphere that empowers them. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this while playing audience to Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who was at the State House to discuss areas of collaboration. The minister, who was accompanied by the Minister of State for the FCT, Maria Mahmood, says the collaboration becomes necessary in view of the fact that there is no department that takes care of women in the FCT. Applauding the minister for placing premium on women inclusion, the First Lady says moves by the FCT to develop agriculture, one of the priority areas for the Renewed Hope initiative, is a cheering one with a lot of prospects to be exploited. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons has expressed federal government's commitment to the well-being of displaced persons across the country. This was emphasized by the Federal Commissioner, Mr. Aliyu Tijani Ahmed, when he visited some IDPs camps in Abuja to distribute relief items in the spirit of Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary. It is a new dawn for these internally displaced persons in Durumi camp, here in the Federal Capital Territory, who are excited as their hopes have been ignited. This is the first visit of the Federal Commission of the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons to the camp, and no better way to express their gratitude for the gesture presented before them. In a bid to commemorate Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary, the provision of relief items ranging from agricultural inputs, educational supplies to food items is distributed as part of efforts to provide sustainable solutions for persons of concern.
I am elated with all the items I received today. Before now, I used to borrow farming tools to harvest my maize. Now, I can do it with mine.
The next point of call was Wasa IDP camp, housing more than 7,000 IDPs and refugees. The act was replicated, which incited emotions.
This is huge for me, and only God can repay them. I am very grateful.
The last visit was the IDP camp in Karshi, where special learning tutorials was conducted for the children, who also participated with excitement.
We are indeed grateful to God for today, and my prayer is that God should continue to make more ways like this for us.
The situation there is very sympathetic. We have seen the area, MOE is being drafted, and by the grace of God, and with the effort of the government and donors, we will build the schools, build the hospitals to ensure that the children there were well educated.
A new dispensation with renewed commitment to provide durable solutions to displaced persons in the country. Right, let's find out how Thursday weather is going to look like. And we're done. Thank you very much for your company. Do have a beautiful evening. I'm Ruth Aguele. My sign language interpreter is John Bamidele. Thank you.